We call the meeting to order. We've got a quorum, and while we may have others that will join us later on, they'll have to be speeding this evening as we have a fairly short agenda, but we'll go ahead and get started. In light of those that have given of their time to be with us this evening, and we certainly appreciate that. This is a regularly scheduled and called Greer City Council meeting. We have convened this evening, August 11th of 2015, to hold the meeting and are duly assembled. Having gathered here and called the meeting to order, as you will see on your agenda, we typically start with a Pledge of Allegiance and an invocation. I do want to change the order of that a bit in light of and in respect to one of our former employees, and I am quite saddened to announce that he is a former employee. If you have not heard yet, Mr. Don Holloman, who was our city engineer for several years and served the city well, was tragically killed along with his wife this morning in an automobile accident, and they both perished in that wreck. And we certainly want to remember the Holloman family. As some of y'all are aware, Don had just recently retired, and they had moved to the lake. We're working on a lake house, and apparently we were either coming or going from that, and were struck by another car, and both were killed this morning. And so we want to remember the Holloman family. So I would ask, if you would, to join council as we stand and observe a moment of silence. Then Councilwoman Kimberly Booker will lead us in our invocation, and then following the invocation, while we remain standing, Ms. Booker will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, join me in a moment of silence in respect for Don and Connie Holloman, please.
God, we come before you right now as humble as we know how, thanking you and praising you for our life, our health, and our strength. God, we know it's no endurance of our own that we are here and we are able to stand and give you praise. God, we do ask that you would bless the family of the Hollomans. God, touch them in a special way. Encourage them and let them know that you are there. It is your will. God, and allow them to embrace your will and to know that they are able to move on. God, we ask that you bless this meeting on tonight. Let nothing be said or done that is not in your will. And it is in Jesus' name that we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We set aside a time at the first of the meeting for folks that have information relevant to the discussion that may take place during a council meeting or an agenda item that they'd like to address. And we have somebody who has signed up this evening to do that. Quite honestly, we should be recognizing them rather than having them come and address us. And so I would like to, as Miss Charlene Vose makes her way to the podium there, want to thank her for the lovely pieces of art that you see hanging in our gallery out there. A real display of Americana art. I think you will find it most interesting, built around the themes of this community in years past. You will easily identify in your mind's eye some of those scenes that you see depicted there. And we are certainly appreciative of you lending not only your talent but your art to our gallery. And so with that, the floor is yours.
I have a really low voice. I hope you can hear me. I hope this is on. I came to thank you for letting me show the artwork that I've done. And it came to me sort of as an inspiration. I am a retired art educator, and we've lived in Greer for 3 years, and I really love the community. And so I researched some of the historical pictures of the area and decided that I would like to paint those with no intent of having a show. But the more I did them, the more I felt called to finish them. So thank you for having someone who would design a city building that has a wonderful gallery for the arts. So important in the visual arts. I'd also like to take the time to thank Robin, who's the cultural arts supervisor, for the assistance that she gave me in having the show. And, you know, there's one picture that sort of summarizes what the whole show is about. And it starts where it has arrowheads and feathers around the border, and it shows the Allegheny Mountains, and then it shows, as the community is evolving, what's happening. And I deliberately tried to pick out pictures that I felt represented a multicultural society or a multicultural city. And I think that I've done a good job of that, and I appreciate you letting me do that. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much. You have done an incredible job, and we do appreciate the fact that you have captured the essence of our community. Thank you very much.
And I meet people in the community and tell them about it, and they're excited to see it too. And you'll notice that there are, in the pictures, there's 4 black people in the pictures because they were also a very important part of the community and the farming community. And I think it's wonderful we've become an international city also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. Thank you for being with us this evening. We want to thank our friends as well for joining us this evening. I'm not exactly sure why you have, but you filled up one whole side of the room there. So thank you. We appreciate you being with us this evening. Do you represent an organization or group of folks that are here in some regard?
We were here about 4 months ago concerning the buildings for rent over on Snow Street.
Uh-huh.
We just wanted to come and, let them know that we really hadn't got it out what we had needed.
Okay.
They believe in God, that's our building, so that's why we come today.
All righty. Well, thank you. And if you have the opportunity to stay, I'll be glad to talk to you about that as soon as we wrap up here. I don't think this event will be too long. With that, then we'll move to the minutes of the council meeting, July the 14th, 2015. I'll entertain a motion that they be received.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any items of note for the clerk? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, you've got the departmental reports contained in your report this evening. As you will see, this is the activity from June. Department heads and Mr. Driggers will be glad to answer any questions you have in that regard. And David Seifert will bring us our financial report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we are very pleased to bring the operational results for the month and year end for June 30th, 2015. And as you're aware, we normally start with the general fund as our largest and operating fund, but tonight I'm going to save that for the last fund that we'll talk about tonight. So we'll start with the stormwater fund. For the month end and year end, we have $720,373 of revenue recorded. That is 11% over budget. And we have $788,226,000 of expenditures recorded. And that amount is 26% over budget, but that is specifically for projects that we've been paying for out of our reserves. And the largest of those is right across the street on Randall Street, where we were doing some stormwater work there. And at June 30th, we have a carrying cash balance of $804,395. Moving to the hospitality fund, we have a carrying cash balance of $675,705. Now, our revenue results for the hospitality fund this year are very good. Prior to the recession, we were seeing about 7-8% growth each year. Through the recession, that dropped a little bit to 3-4%. But this year, we are 17% over budget on revenue in the hospitality fund. It's a very strong year in hospitality. The revenue recorded is $1,773,750, with expenditures of $1,526,768. That the expenditures there are 1% under budget. Now, finishing up tonight with the general fund, again, a very good year for the city. We have revenue recorded of $20,978,281, with expenditures of $19,565,382. That amount at $19 million, we're finishing the year right on budget. And if you look at the dashboards at the benchmarks there, we have a combined positive benchmark for the year end of $1,412,953. At first glance, that looks like we'll be posting, per this report, about $1.4 million in the fund balance. But please keep in mind, this is operational year end for June. We still have the audit to go through, and those audit adjustments that we will make and be presenting the audit to you in first meeting in December. So after those audit adjustments, the addition to fund balance will be closer to the $1 million mark. So again, a very good year in operations for the city, very strong financial condition. And at June 30th, we have a carrying cash balance of $8,399,718. So that's the financial report for the month and year end, June 30th. We'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
David, the increase, so what have we budgeted for revenue total? Was it 18, 19?
For
total year?
For this year? Or
year?
Last year.
Yeah, right, that we just came out of.
You can find it right quick.
While you're looking for that, my question is, the increase in revenue, was it all business license, or was it other fees or property taxes, or was it across the board?
It's in various sources. We have total, for last year, we had budgeted revenue of $19.8 million, and we've recorded $20.9, just short of $21 million.
Mm-hmm.
So the largest increases, about 35 to 40% of it is in taxes, and then another 60% or so is in state business licenses and local business licenses. And then state taxes coming in, revenue, governmental shared revenue from the state was about $225,000 of that. Those are the three biggest items.
David, if you'd also share how we are booking the expense for the demolition of Allen Bennett out of that fiscal year as well.
Right. The operation report that you see in front of you also includes an $800,000 fund balance transfer or operational cash transfer to demolish the old Allen Bennett Hospital. So coming in on budget includes an extra $800,000 of unbudgeted expenditure that council has approved to, prepare that land for sale. And what that says is, operationally, the departments have done very well and have allowed us to position ourselves to do some things to, move the city in the direction that council sees that we need to move. It's a very, very good opportunity there to go ahead and take that hit this year.
We're either stunned or really happy. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Both.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, David. Good
Thank you.
report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, we only have one item of new business this evening. This is the first and final reading of resolution number, I got ahead of myself. I really was wanting to push us along, wasn't I? I guess because...
Was I going that long?
We're both getting used to doing this again, aren't we? We've got the administrator's report, and we'll ask Mr. Ed Driggers, if he would, to bring that to us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, do let me also echo and say on behalf of the entire staff of the city of Greer, we are shocked of the tragedy of Don and Connie Alleman. We learned that news later this afternoon, and we shared that with all of our staff. You know, it's just been a short period of time since Don left us. Retired in January, but stayed on board with us for another 3 months. And worked with us on a contract basis, and has been a very important part of our transition process with our new city engineer on board. And we actually were in communication and working with Don as late as last week. He continued to be a resource for us during the transition, and we mourn his loss, and we echo the comments that the mayor's made as well. A couple of items just to make sure that we are all on the same page. We are under contract and are moving forward with the demolition at Allen Bennett Memorial Hospital. If you've been by there recently, you do see that it's been completely encased in a fence area there that is for security and safety of the site. You don't really see a lot of the work that's taking place now. A lot of it's on the roof, and it's the asbestos removal and those types of activities that are taking place at this time. But we'll continue to meet with the contractor on site. Doing that about every 2 weeks as an update. If there's ever a time that you would like to visit the site, whether that's curiosity or you'd like to go and just see how that project is moving forward, please let us know. We'll be glad to make arrangements to do that. We do have to notify them that we plan to visit. It's a hard hat area and those types of things, but we can certainly make those arrangements if you desire to do that. Obviously, we're just getting started, but we are on schedule and moving forward with that project. You may have also noticed that there have been several improvements made to the grounds areas at the old Snow Street Auditorium property that was referenced just a few moments ago. I wanted to make sure that we got in and got that site cleaned up. You see that some trees have been removed and some stumps removed and those types of things. Just making some general improvements to that site, recognizing the impact that it has on the surrounding community, and we wanted to get that done first. We are working, also doing some interior cleaning at that site as well. You've requested, and we are moving forward to arrange a site visit for you to do that as well. Ann and the cultural arts folks and the staff with Skipper at Public Services, all of them have been involved in helping get the building secured, helping to get it cleaned out, and then ultimately that we would come back to you either with recommendations or soliciting input on how we would move forward with that property as well. A couple of calendar items want to make sure that you have. A couple of those I've sent to you by email as well. But on September the 10th, we have an opportunity to celebrate a milestone. We have surpassed, but we will be celebrating that we have concluded in excess of 365 days without a lost time accident. That is rather significant. So we're going to have a luncheon for all of our employees to say thank you for their safe workplace habits, and that'll be taking place on September the 10th, 11:30 over at the Cannon Center. It's very informal. We're going to bring the FUD truck in and just have a nice lunch and tell everyone thank you, and send them safely back to their jobs as we continue to move forward. Also on the calendar, I sent you some information concerning an upcoming training that you asked us to schedule. That is September the 15th on a Tuesday. That will be from 3:30 until 8:30. It is a joint training meeting between City Council, the Planning Commission, the Board of Zoning Appeals, and also the Board of Architectural Review. We will have representatives with our legal team that will be talking with us about some of the regulations and some of the new laws impacting the South Carolina Comprehensive Planning Act and the roles and impact that it has on those commissions as well as you as council. And there will also certainly be time for us to have conversation to make sure we're all on the same page about how we would desire and would like to see our community as it continues to grow, where we are placing our businesses and our industries, where we're placing our neighborhoods, our parks, those types of things, land use planning, all things relative to planning, all things relative to zoning, and all that relative to architectural review as well. So we look forward to that. I hope you can put that on your calendar and join those three groups as well. It'll be a large number of us. We'll do that here at City Hall on that afternoon and evening of September 15th. And then also a couple of days later on September 17th, we've sent you some information, but that is our annual employee benefits fair. That'll be taking place from about 7:30 in the morning until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll confirm all of the time information for you as well. But that's that opportunity that we come in and we have our employees have an opportunity to do their blood work, have an opportunity to visit with healthcare professionals. We provide them with information about our insurance program. It's a good opportunity as we promote health and fitness with our employees. And we also prepare for our new year with our insurance program as well as we begin the open enrollment for that program.
What was that date again?
That is September the 17th on Thursday. So flu shots and blood work and all of those things will take place that day. And that involves all of our employees, and then we'll have some other events that we'll also be doing for our dependents that are on our insurance program, because as you will recall, this will be the first year that our credits program will also impact dependents on our insurance. So we've been very, very successful with our self-insured program. We've gone, David, I think now 4 years. We're going into our 5th year with no premium increase on our program, and one of the reasons that we feel very strongly that we've had that success is that our employees are being extremely proactive and understanding that the more that they do concerning their health and well-being has long-term effects on us as well. And so we are seeing some immediate benefits of that, and we'll hopefully be able to continue that program in the same fashion, avoiding increases in cost. I do not have any items for council for consideration for executive session unless there are items from council members. We are, as the agenda kind of indicates as well, we're wrapping up the summer and rapidly getting into a very busy fall, and I think you'll see those agendas starting to get a little thicker as we start moving over the next several weeks and months. That's my report. Certainly glad to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. With that, we will now move to new business. First and final reading of resolution number 8-2015. This is a resolution authorizing a lease purchase agreement series 2015 in the principal amount of not exceeding $968,879 relating to the financing of various items of equipment for municipal purposes, authorizing the execution and delivery of various documents, including the lease agreement and other matters relating thereto. Requires action. Mr. Seifert joins us to give us information in that regard.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As is our normal practice, through our budgeting process for our lease purchase and capital assets, we do plan to borrow that money to acquire those assets. This resolution authorizes the administrator to move forward with accepting the low bid. We had 4 complete packages that returned for the bid process, ranging from 1.52% to a high of 1.85%. So very good rates that were there coming in on the bids. This resolution will allow, again, the administrator to move forward with the winning bid, which is Greer State Bank, at 1.52%, and those signatures are planned for later this week.
Questions of Mr. Seifert? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Floor is open for discussion. Questions? Comments? Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Ms. Bookert,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council having no items in executive session this evening, we stand adjourned.